our guest this morning is obviously going to talk about the Media Private Sector Day 2026. And joining us via phone call this morning is Francesca Piri, who's Acting Director, Strategic Communications and Partnerships at the Public-Private Dialogue Forum. Good morning to you, Francesca.
Good morning to you, Hope, and good morning to the listener out there.
How was the weekend?
The weekend was okay. It was restful, and we are ready for another productive week.
Yeah, I was joking. I said, now you are regulars here, so maybe we should just find a seat for you in the studio next time you come through.
Or a desk and work from there.
Yes. All right. Now, getting straight into it. For the listener who's tuning in for the first time and may not be familiar, could you briefly just explain what the Public-Private Dialogue Forum is and the role that it plays?
Thank you so much, Hope. So the Public-Private Dialogue Forum, PPDF, is a government-established platform facilitating structured dialogue between the public and the private sectors. So our role is to identify policy, regulatory, and administrative constraints affecting the business environment, and then we develop practical evidence-based reforms to support investment, economic growth, as well as job creation.
Mm-hmm. And when we talk about the PPDF, let's now look at what is the Media Private Sector Day and why is it important?
So for the last 4 years, the Private Sector Day has been held in the second week of December. However, last year at the Private Sector Day, we announced that we would have it in June. Now, the Media Private Sector Day, to answer your question, is a strategic stock-taking platform for government as well as private sector progress reporting. Now, given Zambia's general elections coming in August 2026, we are convening this year's Media Private Sector Day in June in order for us to showcase progress made by businesses and consummate investment transactions. We decided to have the events in June to allow the Private Sector Day to report, in order to allow the private sector to report to President Hakainde Hichilema on the successes since the PPDF was launched in 2022.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about the theme for this year's Media Private Sector Day and how does it align with Zambia's economic priorities?
The theme this year is driving jobs and shared prosperity. Private sector steering and growth. This year's is on showcasing progress made by businesses, highlighting how the private sector can steer economic development through innovation, entrepreneurship, and sustainable practice. It aligns with Zambia's development agenda, emphasizing private sector-led growth. Mm-hmm. Now, currently have 10 technical working groups, namely agriculture, energy, financial services, gender and women, health, ICT, and digitization, manufacturing, media, mining, and tourism. These are the technical groups that we have currently working. Right now, we're in the process of setting up technical groups on education, on infrastructure, and then another one on green. And last week, we just launched the technical working group on health, and we're currently researching on bottlenecks that need to be unlocked in these sectors. So we're looking at having a total of 13 technical working groups by the end of 2026.
Okay. And also, could you share more details about how the Media Private Sector Day will be structured and what key activities stakeholders can expect?
So this year, the event will be a 2-day affair. June 11th will be for panel discussions on tax administration, competition, trade, labor, as well as environmental issues. Mm-hmm. We'll also have deal room where agreements will be signed. And June 12th is specifically dedicated for reporting progress made by these private sector, different private sectors in response to government-led reforms through Secretary to the Cabinet and policy through Parliament. So these reforms, like I mentioned, they come in through Cabinet Office, through the Cabinet. And then for policy, this has to go through Parliament, where the legislation is done.
Okay. And what specific outcomes or deliverables should the private sector look forward to from this year's media engagement?
We're going to be showcasing tangible economic outcomes, highlighting investment transactions, and also demonstrating how the private sector responded to government reforms under President Hakainde Hichilema's leadership. One of the critical working groups that I just spoke about that we are in the process of formulating is the education. And so this is one of the new ones. For the ones that are passed, for instance, in the manufacturing sector, they'll be able to report back to the president and see how the manufacturing sector has been able to unlock bottlenecks the last 4 years since PPDF was introduced. And so this is what the private sector will be reporting on to show that PPDF's mandate is actually working for the best in terms of leveraging private sector engagement using government. So PPDF is the one that is facilitating dialogue between the private sector as well as government for that one goal to be achieved.
All right, now, Francesca, before I let you go, how can stakeholders participate or contribute to the Media Private Sector Day?
So you can register through our website, which is www.cabinet.gov.ppdf, or you can contact us at info@ppdf.gov.zm. We're really looking forward to engage with the private sector as well as our cooperating partners. So you can visit our website to know more about the private sector day and see how we can collaborate.
All right. Francesca, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much, Hope. And before I go, let me just also mention again to say we're focusing on showcasing progress, consummating investment transaction, and highlighting the private sector's role in driving economic development this year at the Private Sector Day. And we invite all stakeholders to participate and collaborate. Together, we can unlock Zambia's economic potential and build a resilient, inclusive economy.
Indeed. Thank you so much, and have a great week.
Thank you so much, Hope, and have a great day too.
Thank you.